everyone, welcome to my channel, Life, Love, and Tarot. Thank you so much for being here, for listening and hearing me out. If you have stuck to my channel, thank you so much. I know I've been MIA for a while. A lot of shit going on. I will talk about that in another video. I know it seems like I'm always going through something, but in the reality, when is somebody not going through something, you know? And as badly as I wanted to continue to do videos in the past, I had to take a break because I would love to be a leader and a teacher to others, but before I was able to do that or feel confident enough to put the information that I wanted to put out and kind of express my own perspective of the way I see the world and my own personal knowledge, I really wanted to work through some more healing, inner things, learning a little bit more. And so yeah, that's basically what I've been doing this past year, that I have been just going through everything, I guess, just kind of, yeah, getting myself together. But anyways, enough about me. Sorry for the long intro. I wanted to do a video today on COVID-19, Kobe Bryant, a dream I had, how that all intertwines and connects, and then also New Age spirituality. So to get started, a dream I had was about the beginning of February, I believe. I had a dream. I was at my grandma's house. It was just me and her home. She went and opened the door because the doorbell rang, and it was a duffel bag, and she brought it to me. I opened the duffel bag, and it's a bag full of red money. And I just remember in my dream, I was very puzzled. I was looking at this money. I've never seen this kind of money before. I was just like super confused. So when I woke up, I don't know if I said it was red money that I had saw in the duffel bag, but so when I woke up, I went to go Google what country had red currency, because obviously it's not the United States. And so I had discovered it was China. And I remember I was actually talking to my grandma now. I wasn't asleep. And I was like, Grandma, that's so weird. Like, I had a dream about red money, and it turns out to be China and this and that. And I was just like, okay, well, that was a weird dream. Like, sorry, on my notes, I was like, sorry. Sorry. I was like, okay, whatever. It was just a dream. I'll figure it out later. Also, if you ever have vivid dreams, it's important to write down your dreams in a journal so that you can look back on them, or maybe they all add up to a certain message or something that's about to happen in your life, or pertaining to what's going on currently in your life, or somebody else, whatever it may be. It's just important to keep track of your dreams. Anyways, and so I was like, okay. I don't know what to think. And at the time, I was seeing the number 13 a lot. Like, I was seeing the number 13 everywhere. And I was like, why am I seeing the number 13? I don't really understand. And then later on to realize the number 13, I put it together, the number 13 represents death in tarot. So that's a death card. And I was like, okay. I just assumed it was pertaining to the death transformation I've been going through with my life, because, you know, if you know tarot, then life is like the fool's journey. It's all about being that fool, just going through life, going through the experiences, the battles and the happiness and just everything. Anyways, I was like, I'm in my death process. I just assumed it was that. It was so weird though, because a little bit before that also, I was hanging out with my friend one night, and we were just chilling, just talking about spirituality, talking about like the government, what's going on, all this stuff. And our conversation that we were having was so aligned. Like, the things we were talking about, we like she would say something and I'd be like, did I just talk to you about that? Or I would say something, she'd do the same thing, be like, did I have that conversation with you already? But it was conversations we had with other people. And I was telling her around the time, like, I kept hearing the word death, and I know that might sound weird to people, if you're not really into I don't want to say like spirituality, but yeah, anyways, sometimes I hear things. I'm not, anyways, moving along. I was just telling about her. I was telling her about that. I was like, that's so weird. She was telling me she kept seeing like basketball stuff everywhere and whatever. And we were like, wow, this is crazy. And we were talking about how the system needed to change in the government, and how we were upset about all this stuff going on. And this was before like the whole COVID-19 thing got out of whack. It was right after Kobe's passing. So yeah, moving along, then around February 16th, I wrote down when I was doing this stuff. I was doing research onto Kobe because I just wanted to understand more about him and his life. Because when he passed away, I really realized how much of an impact it touched not only people in America, but the whole world as a whole. You know, because a lot of us from childhood or being from young adults, we've watched him, we've praised him, we've been in admiration of him. We've just loved his mentality. We've loved his work ethic. We've loved him as a human, not even just for what he was good at, for who he was as a person, how loving he was, and how dedicated he was, you know, all of those sorts of things. And so it really made me think like, wow, if we're all so impacted by one individual, and where most of us, you know, have never even met him, but a lot of us felt so touched and felt so intimately bonded with him because he showed us that. He showed us the real side of him. He showed us how authentic he was. He showed us the deeper side of life. And so, sorry. Yeah, I was doing some research, like I said, because I just wanted to know a little bit more about him. And like, even for me, I remember being little, I went to a Lakers versus Bulls game in 98. So I was only 2 years old. And still to this day, I remember going to that game. Like, I was sitting at the little top with my binoculars, like watching the cheerleaders and everything, saying I was going to be a cheerleader someday. And of course I was a cheerleader. Anyways, besides the point. I remember being in my living room as a little kid watching him on TV, and I was literally so in awe with him. Like, I remember I was such a little girl, and I would even tell my mom, I know it sounds crazy, but like, Mom, I'm gonna marry him someday. Like, I was like 3 years old at this time telling my mom this kind of stuff. There was just something about him that really drew me to him, and I grew up with having his name and his jerseys and the Lakers games on all around my whole life growing up. And so it was definitely something that is close to my heart. It's a good memory for me growing up. But so like, when that happened, it really showed all of us how the same we all are, how we all have emotions, how we can all be affected by the same thing, how really that whole thing impacted us. And seeing, you guys will see where I'm going with this, seeing that really brought in a lot of, like, it was kind of like a catalyst. It started the transformation that needed to be brought upon the world, of really seeing how quickly things can happen, to expect the unexpected, to work as a team better, to start collaborating with people, just showing, like, I just want to keep saying, showing how connected we are. I can't get away from that feeling, just showing how intertwined we all are, whether we want to agree or understand that or not. We truly are. Our vibrations, our energy is all connected. And so when that happened, you know, the hurt and the sorrow and the pain kind of spread throughout the collective, I feel like, as a whole. And then not only that, so like I was saying, when I was researching into him, it was, what I say, February 16th, yeah, I discovered that he was in China trying to get his products distributed out there. And he was working with a website called Alibaba or something like that. to also put his products on. I don't think he ever got his products in either situation. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But that also showed me how connected that was, because the fact that I went to go do research and I had came across something that said that he was trying to get his products out in China specifically, it like really shows me how many signs, sorry, I'm not trying to laugh, it's just like sometimes it blows my mind how many signs I was getting of things and I wasn't realizing it, and I wasn't putting the pieces together in the sense that I needed to. But not only that, like, part of the reason why so many people love Kobe and his mentality is because it shows that if you do what you love to do and you do what you're meant to do and you really put in the work and the dedication and you stay true to yourself, and no matter through the trials and tribulations, the backlash or setbacks, whatever you go through, as long as you keep trying, you keep staying true to yourself, you keep working hard at what it is, and you don't even have to work hard. Like, I'll be honest, there are some things that, yes, you do have to work hard for, but life isn't all about working hard. There are some things that just come into manifestation or come to us because they're meant for us and they're meant to be in our life. Excuse me, my nose is just weird. Okay. And so, but the thing that everybody loved is that it showed how good you could be at your skill if you really hone in on that skill, and you have a good routine and you look at what you can fix and you take criticism. You're able to do those kinds of things, just looking to do better, always doing better. And yeah, it's just, that's why a lot of people really admired him, is because no matter what he went through the surgeries, the injuries and all that, he always got back up. And when he tore his, is it called ACL? Sorry if I'm wrong. I know people were saying that was the end of his career, but he got up after it and he went back, and he still dominated and did his damn thing. So it's like, nobody could not respect Kobe. Even if he was not your favorite player, even if you didn't like the Lakers, whatever, there's nobody that could not respect Kobe, because he was true, authentic, honest, and a hard worker. As long as he was doing what made him happy. Like, I know even his parents didn't really care for Vanessa. And it's not that they didn't care for him, they just didn't agree with who he was with. But he stuck to what made him happy in life. And doing that brought him a lot of joy in life, being there for her, his kids, and all of that. That's what made him happy. Working so hard is what brought him everything he ever wanted, And I know I said that you don't have to work hard. You don't really have to work hard, because some of us, how do I explain this? As long as you're doing what you love and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, at times it could seem like, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to explain this. It could seem like so much work, but then you sit back and you look at it, if you stop doing it for a while, you're like, that is something I love to do. Doing something you love to do makes shit a whole lot easier, And so, even though there's a lot, it may seem hard because you're having to put in a lot of time and work, energy, whatever it may be, it's also easy because it brings you a sense of peace and happiness and joy, and it just feels right to you in your soul, if that makes sense. So yeah, I kind of don't know where I'm going with that now, but let's move on. So besides that, oh yeah, and I know that he was writing books, really good books. I know one of his most recent books he was writing was a story, I believe it was about how to really hone in on your craft and your skills and using magic and energy and things like that to manifest your life and your desires, and just creating your life, you know, and Kobe totally knew how to create his life. I know he was a Leo Virgo cusper, so he had a lot of Virgo energy in him, and Virgo is the sign of organization, being very, they know how to get shit done. They know how to work hard. They don't like bullshit, you know. Not only that, Virgos are the hermetics. They are the truth seeker. They are the enlightenist. All of that. So I do truly believe that Kobe in his own right was a true manifester. I think he truly knew the depth of life and what was there after life. I think he knew all that. Like if you look back on some of what he used to speak about and say and whatever, you would see that he had even said a few times that he felt like he was going to die early. And that's why he felt like he had to accomplish so much in such a short span, such a short time span. Sorry, that was really hard to say. And that's why he felt like he needed to get so much done. And it makes me think because the story of Achilles, is that what it's called? I know he had done research into him, and the story of that god is that he worked so hard to the detriment of his death. Like he was such a hard worker that it ended up putting him to die, essentially, I guess, because he wasn't focusing on anything else. And it really makes me think, because I'm a true believer that there are souls on this earth that have like souls of gods, goddesses, very intelligent people, just leaders, just all things of the sort. You know, we have many lives, we have past lives and whatever. And it really makes me think of maybe part of his past life was from that god. It was like, it was something ingrained in his DNA. Maybe it was like a past life traumatic event that happened. And so that's why he felt that way. I don't know. It just makes me think about that, because I know that that was one of his favorite gods that he was really into. So yeah. Okay. Of course, you know, rest in peace to him. I want to say, I don't personally believe that when we die, that we die. I believe that our souls go to other dimensions, or we stay down here to finish out our karma. Whatever our soul meant to sign up for is what I believe happens. So even though his earthly human form is not here, I know that his soul and his presence is still here forever. And I know he's still guiding us, watching over us, and helping the collective as a whole. So I would like to move on to COVID-19. So I can understand the fear and everything that everyone's experiencing was such a switch on the world. And not only did it affect one country, it affected the whole world, which is pretty crazy. But I want to switch people away from the negativity of it and kind of look at the bright side of it. And I'm not saying that it's a good thing, okay? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we can either choose to live in fear and scarcity mindset and kind of be like, oh no, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? What's going to happen? Like, I want things to go back to normal. When most likely things probably aren't going to go back to normal, in my opinion, because it's the age of Aquarius. It's time for a whole transformation. It's time for the new age. It's time for us to be more open-minded. We're going to be more technology oriented, even though we already have a lot of technology. We're going to be more like friendship oriented. We're going to be more open-minded. I definitely feel like we're going to be more future oriented and not so stuck in the now, because I feel like a lot of us can get too stuck in the present sometimes, and it's not good to get stuck in past, present, or future, but sometimes we got to move along from the present to see what the effects and to see what's really going to come our way within time, because a lot of us get stuck with the 9 to 5 routine and just daily routines and whatever, which is understandable. It's good for us to have routines. It's good for us to be organized and to be getting our things done, but we never really get that chance to actually sit with ourselves, to work with ourselves, to heal ourselves, because it's like constantly go, 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 go. And I feel like the world was kind of like, stop. Like, you guys need to stop. You guys need to chill. There's so much going on, you know, there's earthquakes, there's fires, there's extreme like homelessness, there's sex trafficking, there's so much stuff going on in this world, and we see it happening, but so many of us are too busy to do anything about it, or we feel like we can't do anything about it. We feel like we don't have the power to do anything about it, when in reality we do. Just like I was saying in my dream in Kobe, seeing oh yeah, and about the money thing, sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit. The money dream. What else connects us just as much as technology and the internet? Money. So as quickly as we could spread information on the internet, we could spread energy and other things through money. So it makes me wonder a little bit if part of the problem was through money, just touching money from people and whatever. Not only that, it really shows how connected our energies are and how affected we all are as a whole. I feel like this is something to really teach us how connected we are. I'm sorry, I know I keep saying that, but I feel like a lot of people don't really understand how connected our energies and our vibrations are, and how if half of us are stuck in lower vibrations and half of us are in higher vibrations, that's not, I mean, I guess that's balance, but it doesn't really help, because in a sense it does, because there's the domino effect, but we're trying to awaken more people to the issues, to seeing how we're all one, how we're all the same, how it doesn't matter what class you're in. It doesn't matter if you're the higher class, middle class, lower class. I know there's not much of a middle class anymore, but it doesn't matter what class you're in. Anything can happen to anybody. None of us are greater than the other just because we have more money or more talent or whatever it may be. Some people have just had more of an opportunity of perfecting their talents or working on their talents and stuff. And I'm not saying like others can't do that also, but you know, some people just have more of an advantage because either maybe our parents were more well off growing up, or maybe, you know, we all have different ways of being raised, being programmed of the sort. But my main thing is showing how together we all are, and how vibrations really affect one to the other. If I raise my vibration, somebody else is going to feel that and raise their vibration, and so on and so on and so on. So it's a whole collective thing, and it's really showing that in order for us to change things, in order for us to get things moving in the world, we have to work together. We have to collaborate, bring our energies together, stop hating on each other, stop causing problems, stop causing drama. And I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm just like stating reality. Like, this is just what it is. If we don't start seeing each other for the humans we are, and the heart and love that we have in our souls and for each other, I keep saying this, like, I put a video on my Instagram probably like almost a couple months ago saying that if things don't start to change, we're not going to have much time left. And I'm not trying to like scare anybody or anything like that. And energy can always change, energy can always shift, but like, look how serious it's getting. And it's like, how many signs do we need that we need to wake up, that we need to take control of our lives again, that we need to take our power back? We're not meant to live in a society where we're being ran by patriarchy and we're being ran by the government and stuff. Of course, we need rules. Of course, we need boundaries and that kind of stuff, because people could be just doing whatever, you know? But we are meant to live life in a way that we see benefit. We shouldn't have to be worrying so much about how are we going to pay our rent, or how are we going to get health care, or how are we going to get food. Like, life is not supposed to be like that at all. It's really not. And it's really sad that from such a young age we're showed we have to live a certain way of, you have to get a good job, you have to go to school, you're meant to have kids. Like, not, that is not meant for all of us. Some of us are meant to be just by ourselves, not have kids, just live a life, just doing what makes us happy. Some of us are meant to have a family. Some of us are meant to raise our kids at home. Some of us are meant to be in the public eye, be an entertainer, you know, an actor, actress, singer, performer, whatever you want to be, dancer, it doesn't matter. But it's really showing that we need to start living a life that is true and beneficial to ourselves. And not being all about ourselves, but understanding the deeper meaning of life, understanding it's okay to do things that make you happy, understanding it's okay to make changes, it's okay to let things fall away. If you're in a relationship that's not working out, let it fall away. If it's not meant to be, if it's meant to be, it'll come back and it'll work. If you have a roommate, it's not been working out, you're miserable living there, take this time to look for something new. Take this time to come up with a plan. If you've been wanting to start a business for so long, you just haven't had the time, like, or the energy, resources, whatever it may be, take this time to make a plan, write it out, figure out how much things cost, figure out exactly how you want to do this. Try to get out there, connect with people of like-minded, to help you get these business endeavors started. You know, if you want to go back to school because you've been wanting to be a lawyer or whatever it is, go back. Like, this is a great time to look back on what made us happy as children, where we felt most authentic to ourselves. And like, for me, looking back as a child, I remember I always wanted to help people. Since I could remember, I always wanted to be either an a pediatrician, or I wanted to be OBGYN, or I wanted to have a daycare. I took all these classes. I would read books about this stuff and whatever. And so I realized that helping people, helping children, and helping just others that need help is what makes me happy. That is where I'm going to find my happiness and my passion and my sole purpose, is by helping other people. So what is it that you like to do as a child? What is it that you've always wanted to do? Maybe you always want to be a firefighter or a cop or something. It's never too late to do that. Maybe you've just always wanted to be a great dancer. It's never too late to take dance classes, even if you're 80. Like, of course, maybe go to a doctor and just get like an okay to go do that. But it's never too late. Like, I've seen videos of people doing stuff like that, and it will like blow your mind, because you'll be like, they're so old though, like, how are they doing it? But it's like, if you take care of yourself, if you nurture yourself, if you love on yourself, if you think you can do it, if you know you can do it, and you just put the work and effort and energy into it, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be great. Especially if it's something that makes you happy. Like, you're like, yeah, I want to go, I want to do this. Like, I'm so excited for class or whatever it is. You're going to be so successful. You're going to be so happy. And it's so hard for us sometimes to do what makes us happy in fear of what other people will say, feel, or think. And sometimes we just have to do shit for us. And that is okay. That's okay. As long as we're taking care of others, taking care of things that need to be taken care of, and you're trying your best, you're being honest with people, that's all that matters. That's truly all that matters. And so with the new age spirituality, I think I was getting to that. It's just about having a new way of thinking, being more open-minded, which I feel like is going to be a lot of the Aquarius energy. Being open-minded to not only others, but just a new way of thinking, a new way of structuring society and a new way of living, you know, because nothing stays the same. Everything has to change. And now is the time for change to happen as a world together, collectively. And so now, you know, we can really work on getting things back to where we always wanted them to be. It's going to take time. Of course it is. It's going to take work. But it can happen. It's possible. It's very possible. It's just about getting people on that wavelength. It's about awakening other people. Having people explore their subconscious or their conscious, you know, whatever it may be. Just really having a broader perspective, just seeing things with the bird's eye view, and understanding more people, not just on a mind level, but an emotional level also. Because I feel like a lot of us haven't been connected into our heart spaces, and so that hasn't been able, so then we haven't been able to connect with others and understanding others. So I feel like this is going to be a time for heart chakra opening for the collective, to kind of expand into love on one another and just kind of get that positive energy out there for others. And yeah, just really staying true to ourselves, to what makes us happy. If you want to do a new hobby, do a new hobby. It's going to make you super happy. You never know what you could do with it. You know, if you want to express yourself more, maybe you like to be really sexy all the time or whatever. If that's you, then that's you. If you want to freaking, I don't know, you guys get the point. Whatever you want to do, just let yourself be you. And that's been something that's been hard for me to come to terms with and agree with in myself also, because a lot of times growing up, I was told to repress how I would act, or I was too much or too hyper and stuff like that. Because I was really shy when I was a baby. I had a binky until I was like 4, honestly. Very quiet. I didn't speak very much until I got older. But once I started like letting myself out, I got repressed a lot. And I was criticized a lot and judged a lot. So it's been hard, and it's been a little bit of a lesson and journey for me to learn how to be more self-loving towards myself and allow myself to be free, creative, and express myself without fear of judgment. At times, yes, I can still be like that, because I'm the type of person that doesn't like to rub people the wrong way. I like to be fair-minded and equal with people as much as I can. Sometimes it's a little hard, but I try to be. And not only that, with the New Age spirituality, I feel like there's a lot of stereotypes with spirituality, and this was a trigger for me. If anybody knows what triggered me with this, you'll know where I'm coming from. Anyways, so just because you're spiritual doesn't mean that you are like the Mother Teresa type. You don't have to be that way. You can have a backbone. You can speak up whenever you want. We don't have clean mouths all the time, okay? We like to say words. You don't have to be this like put together person all the time. That's not real. What's real is healing. What's real is trauma. What's real is emotions. What's real is authenticity. We don't have to portray ourselves to be something we're not just because we're spiritual. And if we want to be sexy, but we are spiritual, then you can be that way. And I know I'm like talking about sexy just because like sometimes like I want to post pictures of myself because I feel good about myself and stuff, you know, but then I'll be like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do that because this and that, you know, I kind of let my ego get in the way. But I think about it more and I'm like, well, if that's you, then that's you. We all harness different energies from when we were born that make us who we are. Some of us are more fiery and more passionate, you know, and just more out there. Some of us are very more logic minded, I guess you could say. Some of us are more earth based and some of us are more emotional based. it all depends on who you are as a person and what energies you were given as a person. But so if you want to be a dancer, but you want to be into spirituality, you can do that. If you want to be a football player, but you want to be in spirituality, you can do that. You don't have to be so full into it. And I don't really like to keep saying spirituality, but what I guess I mean by spirituality is being more open-minded and understanding the consciousness of the universe and understanding how connected we are and understanding that there is some force outside of ourselves in the world that really affects and impacts us as a whole. That's what I'm really trying to get at with spirituality. That's what I'm trying to get at with the new way of thinking is we don't have to go to church all the time. That is so up to you. Whatever religion, whatever God, whoever you would believe in, that is totally up to you. But it's about showing and teaching and helping people understand that the old ways of living don't have to be that way anymore. We don't have to do the bell ring, the 9 to 5, the school, all day with going to church on Sundays or whatever. That life is not going to be for everybody. It's just not. A lot of people are going to want to be doing work online, school online, businesses online, things like that. And sorry, I just kind of got sidetracked like usual. But anyways, it's kind of like where I was going. I'm trying to think of if I forgot anything I really wanted to talk about. Because this time of us being quarantined is really a good time for us to work on our inner emotions that we've been avoiding. Because if you're stuck somewhere, you don't have much to do, you're kind of forced to sit with your feelings and think. And you can't really avoid it unless you're just like constantly watching TV or something. You're just finding other ways to avoid it. But this is really a time for us to understand what's falling apart, understand that we can't solidly count on only the government for direction and help and to tell us how to live our life and which way to go. It's up to us. And if we want change, it's up to us. We don't just sit here, can't just hope for a change and keep thinking there's going to be change. We have to put action to it. We have to get people on a more balanced scale of equilibrium and understanding each other in a more balanced way and being more fair-minded to each other. Because if we're not more fair-minded to each other, we're not going to evolve, we're not going to progress, and we're not going to get to where we need to be. And that's just super important because we don't want things to keep happening to Gaia. We don't want things to keep happening to the earth or even as humans, and especially the animals. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot believe I have not even brought this up yet. The animals are like so important right now. And we really need to take a step back and see what we can do. Come up with a plan, like actually put action into it. Our animals are hurting. Do you know how many animals are going extinct? Because there's people hurting them for literally no reason. There's people mistreating them. And that was another thing. Sorry, this just made me think of something. So you know how a lot of people are saying like the COVID-19 started with the bat. So that makes me think, because the bat and the spiritual totem, I guess like your spirit, like a spirit totem, the bat represents rebirth, transformation, death, like we were just talking about. So I feel like the bat also being tied into China, me seeing 13, like it literally is just, it was, I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm trying to wrap my mind all around this shit, because like when I think about this stuff and I will like get epiphany after epiphany, I'm like, hold on, like what am I supposed to do with this? How do I put it together? Like all that stuff. But so yeah, bats were also another huge sign of everything falling apart and the rebirth that was coming of the whole world. So if you guys would like to see a new structure of society, the government, how we're living, how we're deciding to take control of our lives, how we're deciding to be, then that is up to us. And it's okay to speak with your friends and family about this stuff. Even if they don't want to listen, they are going to hear part of what you say. The parts that they need to hear, they're going to hear. And it's going to sit in their subconscious even if they don't realize it. And it's slowly going to trigger them, because anything that you hear, listen to, it's going to be installed somewhere in your brain. And it's like an activation that really triggers your DNA and makes you start to see things and the world in a whole new perspective. But okay, did I go over everything that I was talking about? Let's see. Yeah, just doing what's best for us and coming together and just loving on each other. Just, if you need a rest, please rest at this time. It's not a bad time to rest. You don't have to be doing something at this time. If you feel like your life is good, if you feel like there's like you've worked on shit, you're not feeling any repressed emotions about anything, then like take this time to totally chill. If you haven't got to spend time with your kids, spend time with your kids. Have that family one-on-one bond time. It's so important for our children to really get the attention that we need, and to start raising them in the way that they need to be raised, and just nurturing our children and their emotions and our bonds with them, because a lot of us ended up traumatized from things that we experienced in our childhood, and I know I'm not the only one. So okay, I think I'm done with this. I know it's been a long video, but if you watched this, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hearing me out, and thank you for just giving me a chance to speak. So yeah, go for your dreams, love on each other, be there for each other, realize how connected we are. Just send love and light, healing energy to the world. Of course, we have dark energy too, but it's about how we harness that energy to either do something positive with it, or if not, I don't recommend doing anything negative. Nobody wants any more karma in their lives, whatever. But anyways, okay, enough with that. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. Bye.